Hello, y'all. It's Catherine. Thanks for watching. I'm up here trying to figure out how to start this video. I have a blood clot. Now, just recently, I was going to do a video and upload, should I retire early? I'm 56 in about a year. I'll have 20 years of federal government service, and so I can retire and get all my pension benefits. I still probably can get them, but now I got a blood clot. And last year I thought I had one, so I went to the emergency room and got checked at the VA hospital. And I didn't have one at that time, but the doctor said that, and the doctor said, well, you know, if you get a second one, you have to get on disability. I was like, yeah, you know, I had heard that before. But I was clear, so I didn't worry about it. Well, here it go. I mean, almost exactly a year to the date, I have one again. Now I've got to decide, do I want to go out on disability? Okay, do I have to decide? It has been decided for me. It has been decided for me to go out on disability. So let me talk to you about this blood clotting issue and how it looks and stuff. Okay, I'm going to I'll show you my feet. So this doesn't always happen. That camera's broken, that's why I have to adjust it. So this doesn't always happen, so I can't do a lot of moving and stuff. But can you look and see how this foot can go in, but this one isn't. This one can't go in because of all the swelling. I don't know if they call it lymphedema or something like that, but it's a blood clot. And so this foot is swollen all around here where this one isn't. And yes, I'm ashy. But I'm not rubbing anything, and I'm not going to let anybody rub anything. No massage, manicures, pedicures. Because you're not supposed to have anybody manipulating your body where it can cause that clot to break off and circulate around through your blood and cause you to have a stroke. So I don't know if you can tell from here how swollen this leg is versus this one, and how even though I'm fat, that one's like more fattish, like little 2-year-old baby fattish versus this one. And I mean, you can really feel it in the back. But I'm gonna tell you, okay, so not necessarily this is a sign of a blood clot, because I have had one before, and as I said, and so what happened this time? They let me know. Well, last year, like I said, I thought I had a blood clot. I didn't show you, but I keep canes. I got two. I got this one that you can, you know, it breaks down and it can fold up into my purse. Because it was like last time I just need a cane. My husband thought I was joking, but it's two differences. So I'm gonna just talk about this one for now. So this time we had just gone down. We had taken a trip in July, the end of July, for our anniversary. Okay, well, we went to Huntsville for our anniversary. Then we took one in July. We went to Florida, Miramar Beach, for the girls back to school. And then it's just, I don't know, we were just in a happy mood, so we went back and we went to Gulf Shores. So we took another vacation. So it was a fantastic time. We stayed in Embassy Suites like we pretty much always do, because it has enough room for us and for the girls. We could do a Jack and Jill, but when we've done that, nobody uses that center room. So it's almost like space not used. So we went down to Gulf Shores. We're at the one where you can look right from the room, go out on the terrace, and look over and see the Gulf. So I'm going to say Gulf of America now. So this will time date is because Trump was in office. When he's not in office, I'll go back and say Gulf of America. But he got it on the Google Maps, child. Don't argue with me. So anyway, so my husband and I, we would go down to the beach every morning because he knows I like going out to the beach as much as I can. So he obliges, and we went to the beach. Oh, the first day we went out there and we just sat for hours. We almost didn't even leave the beach. The only reason we left was because we felt the girls were concerned, and we had our phones, we could have called, but we were just like, oh, let's go back. We'll go back to the room. They're waking up now. We're gonna go back, and then we'll go out and do some shopping, eat lunch, and all that kind of stuff. And so the hotel, it provides breakfast. That's complimentary. And so we went shopping at the outlet. They have an outlet there, close to Owa, OWA. It's an Indian reservation park, water park. And I know if you want to say Native American, look, they have a video on there, and the lady said, look, these people came over and they called us Indians, and we're the Creek Indians. And so, don't get at me. Talk to the Creek Indians, because that's what they're called. They're not called Creek Native Americans, according to what this lady was saying that was on the videos that they rotate on the TV down there. You know how they do at hotels, telling you about the area. So we went walking. We didn't do any extreme walking, because most of the time, because my husband was like, let's park and then walk. I was like, no, because it's so many different areas of the outlet, even though it's not a big outlet, but it's so many different areas, and it's hot. And so I was like, no, we'll go here. Plus, we wanted to go back for Libations, And so we ended up driving to the spots that we really wanted to go. And so it wasn't a lot of walking. And went back and got Libations. We may have gone out to the beach again. I don't know. Well, went to the pool or something. So the next day, kind of the same thing, except we rode to Orange Beach. We got lunch at Lulu's. That's one of the what's his name? Margaritaville people. Buffett. Lucy Buffett. That's her restaurant. So Lulu's. We went there. We got nachos. I got the fish sandwich. It was good. Nachos they were good. Quesadillas, I don't know if anybody ate them. They were decent. They were good. But anyway, so went to Orange Beach to see what it was about. We didn't even get out because you have to pay for access or something. It just seemed like there was no way to get it unless you had already got a hotel across the street or there that you can enter it. So we were like, well, we already got covered by our beach, so we're not going to even worry about this. And we went through it and drove through it. Said it was 20 minutes away, but it wasn't. So I'm just telling you lackadaisically. So let me, narrow all this down. So basically, we didn't do a lot of walking. The ride down was about 5 hours. We did make some stops to do some stretching because I know I need to do that so I can avoid getting blood clots. And plus, to freshen up, my husband needs to go to the bathroom and stuff. So anyway, we did all the precautions. Nothing seemed extreme. Now, I did mention to myself, I feel like something stung me in the thing because they did have the purple flag and the yellow flag, which purple means marine life. So I thought maybe a jellyfish or something bit me. But, it's felt it, went away. So still nothing. I hit my leg in the pool when I went there with my oldest daughter. It wasn't a big hit. It was just we were going along, and I, for whatever reason, didn't realize these steps are here because usually the pool is the pool, but they had a little splash pad for the little bitty children that's like 3 and under, who may or may not swim, because some of them can swim, because one little girl was just jumping in there and all that stuff. But it wasn't deep enough for us to swim, so we were just, scooting along, walking along, trailing through the water. So that wasn't a big deal. But then we came back on Sunday. We left on Thursday. We came back on Sunday. By Monday, I felt like, wow, in my left leg, I felt like, wow, it feels like I did a big workout, but I did not. I said, my calves just must feel like they're so tight. So I just got this, I got this arthritis cream that they have at the Dollar Tree. I don't know if it's $1, $1.25, $1.50, whatever. So anyway, I got that cream and rubbed it on that spot. And I was like, and I'll flex it a little bit, and then, I should be good. I might have to flex it a few days, just to work that kink out. Nothing dramatic. Didn't no pain. So by Tuesday, I was like, it's still here. So my husband was like, yeah, well, you elevated, cat. Then, it feel better. I said, okay, and I'll do that, and I'll massage more of this cream and stuff. Flex it and all that. Well, I go to work at 6 in the morning. I'm working from home for some other health issues. So I was like, by 9 o'clock, I said, I had elevated it for a little bit, and then took it down. It was feeling so heavy. It was feeling like water weight. You know how you get out of the pool? It was feeling like it was heavy, but nothing else was feeling heavy. I said, oh, I told my husband, I said, this doesn't feel good. I said, I'm thinking something's wrong. I'm going to go on and finish the day, and then I'll go to the emergency room. So my youngest daughter was going to start school the next day, and I was thinking, should I go today or should I wait till tomorrow? So because there's a chance they could put me in the hospital, and then I won't be able to see her off to school, or maybe like leave her and let her not go to school the first day. I don't want her to be upset, right? Thinking that her mom's going to die. So, I mean, I didn't want any of them, but because it was her first day of school. So I went on because I was like, what if during the rest of the day, it kept getting bad, worse. So I went on and drove myself. I didn't worry about my husband taking. He works in the evening, but I didn't worry about him getting off for taking me because I have had a false alarm before. So I went there. Now, last time I went on to my primary and had them call the ambulance. I should have done that this time because they would have probably seen me sooner. Because I ended up having to wait a few hours, but it was okay. And I didn't want to chance it, because I had to go try to get my car. The way it is in Birmingham, you get a ride from the women's clinic over to the main hospital. So if it was after 6 that they finished seeing me, I probably wouldn't get a ride. I have to figure out how to get over there because it would be too far to walk the way I was feeling because it was getting worse and worse. And I had to pull out my trusty cane. And so I guess everybody was trying to pull out their trusty canes. It seemed like they needed more urgent care. And I told the lady, I believe I had a blood clot. And I thought that would rush it, but it didn't. So anyway, they saw me, did the ultrasound. In order to determine a blood clot, you have to have an ultrasound done. So they did the ultrasound. And then right away, as soon as she put it on me, there it is. That's what she said. There it is. Oh man, I said, there goes that trip to Thailand. And I know you probably think I would think something else. And I was in prayer before, so the prayer didn't change. But she was like, she just kind of chuckled and she was like, yeah, you can't go flying like that. And I said, yeah. So, just kind of trying to, lighten the mood because that's bad news. But she gets bad news probably a lot. So anyway, they gave me a 11-ox shot, and that's a blood thinner to go home with. They did check my blood in addition to that to see if they needed to keep me in the hospital. So I must have tested pretty good because they let me go home. And I didn't have to even call anybody. I was thinking I was going to have to get my brother and his wife to come get the truck because where I was parked, thank the Lord, he gave me a spot right across from the VA. So they were able to take me in a wheelchair to the corner, but she said they couldn't cross the street. So they took me to the corner. And I was like, I can hobble across. Plus, I went in I got off work at 2:30. I got dressed and went there. So I made it there before 4. And I didn't get out of there until about 11, almost midnight. No. I made it home before my husband. So I got home maybe 10 something. And my girls are old enough to cook something. Plus, we had food left over from the trip, so they had plenty to eat. So don't worry about them. And that way, they're older girls. My youngest is 16 and the oldest one is 19. So, and she didn't have to go to college till that weekend. And I did ask them, can I go and at least help take her to college? I didn't try to lift a whole lot of stuff, do all the stuff that, we moms do, the cleaning and all that stuff to make sure things are good. And she could have done it herself. But, they have professionals come in and do all that. So I didn't worry about that so much. But, I just went and sat. I sent them in to go get her some groceries. Went to Target. I didn't go in. Y'all know I wanted to. But my husband said they were still charging the wheelchair, so I didn't get to go in because I cannot walk. So let me tell you some other things that happened because I showed y'all my leg. So, over the next few days, my legs got swole and heavier. And some days it will feel like those muscles are contracting real tight and it makes me want to rub it and massage it out. But you cannot because if you separate that clot and it travels through your body, it could end up giving you an aneurysm or something, or in your lungs or something. It can go a whole lot of different places. So I had to just deal with it. And then the other part of the pain is I'm trying to just think of how to describe it. You know how like you go to sleep on your arm or something, or your legs are folded in a way where your blood's not circulating right, and so when you wake up, it hurts. Like nobody ever said numbness. It's numb, But nobody ever tells you that being numb is painful, because sometimes it feel like the blood is circulating back in there, and it would just hurt. It would feel like needles sticking me. It would feel like pain. Sometimes I feel like I can feel the throbbing. Sometimes I feel like I can see my leg throbbing. Um, the pain is intense. This time it was so intense. Now, I didn't have the tightness in my chest. Um, I didn't have the shortness of breath now. When I had one the first time, I did have the shortness of breath. Now, some people, like my husband and my nutritionist, they're saying, oh, it's because you don't move a lot. A lot of people don't move a lot. A lot of people, we don't move a lot in the job, but they're not getting blood clots, so it's something else. But can I be very personal? You may say it's TMI, but it's blood clots TMI. So, when I was a younger girl and I had to go and get a pap smear done, so my period happened to come on that day, and so I called a doctor and I was like, look, I don't know, should I cancel? Well, I didn't talk to her directly. You talk to her people and they convey to you. I said, my period come on, do I need to cancel or do I need to come on? How do you want me to do this? Because they charge you now if you don't show up. And I know it's messing with their money. So she told me to come on, it's fine. They still know how to do their job, even though. And while she was doing the exam, she said, I don't know what's going on, but it's like your blood is clotting and it's sluggish. So I didn't know what that would mean in the future. She never said anything, and I did. It was so kind of young, so I didn't know to ask what questions to ask, what that means, should I do anything. But I just think back to it now that she did say that years ago, and perhaps that was foretelling that this issue would happen. And so I just think about it every time, well, for the times that this has happened. And that's why I would always go do my checks whenever I had that pain, because mine occurs, they used to say it happens in your lower calf. And my calf was hurting, like I told y'all. But the first check they did, and where I had the one where it was detected, is in my growing area. And last time I was thinking, when I was calling, talking to my mom, and I was like, oh, Mom, my leg hurts so bad. She was like, well, put a heating pad on. I mean, we talked for hours trying to get this leg to feel better. Put a heating pad on. And I just almost want to show y'all again how I can't get my left foot all the way into this shoe because of how swollen my foot is. But yeah, so, but like I said, the first time I was active, I was under 150 pounds. I was always exercising, the queen of it. But I was trying to get pregnant and kept having miscarriages, and they said that could have been the reason. So when I was pregnant, I always had to take, I know I was pregnant twice. I had 5 miscarriages. And then I was pregnant. I've carried 2 full-term babies. And when I had carried them, I had to have heparin shots, because that's what they did then, in each side of my stomach twice a day, once in the morning, once in the evening. And so now I'm on Eliquis, and at the beginning I'm taking 2 pills, 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening for a week. And now I'm just starting on the 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening. And so my leg, not only is it swole, I don't know how you describe how it felt, but I told the doctor that you could feel a difference. Like it didn't feel fleshy like skin. It felt like, say, maybe a red hot, y'all know red hot, those sausages, like they're about to pop, or like, say, have you ever a sweet potato, and that skin is how it is, kind of dry and hard, and I mean, it's not that I'm nasty, I'm moisturized, but it was just so tight and dry and just not feeling right. It just did not feel right. And I couldn't flex my ankle like I was thinking at first, trying to flex. After that, I couldn't flex it because it was just too swollen. And I'm just now starting where it's starting to feel a little soft again, like your leg would, but the swelling is still there. I've been on this cane, and then I also, I gotta get up like a old. So they prescribed me this, but, and they prescribed I went to them and requested, but you have to get a prescription. And so My husband didn't want to get the wheelchair because he was like, "Oh, we're not that old and decrepit," but we are, because it's my leg, and I should have fought for getting that wheelchair because he was wheeling me in a wheelchair because I could not walk. I told him I need the walker to make it through, or this to make it around the house, but a wheelchair would be cumbersome. So I was using that. So if I go, he's like, "You're not going anywhere." I was like, "Well, yeah, probably not until I'm not swollen." Until I did. 'Cause sometimes you have to get out and do stuff. So it hurts. Like I said, sometimes it's throbbing. Sometimes it's throbbing in this other leg, my right leg, even though it's not swollen. My whole body is a clotting issue here. And so I'm not doing a lot of movement except to go to the bathroom. I have stairs. So I come down in the morning and I don't go back up until it's time to go to sleep. Because I have a bathroom right over here that I can go to. Then the kitchen is right there. So I'm here because my husband, like I said, he works at night, but he's here during the day. But there's some time in the day where no one's here with me. So if I need to freshen up my water or something, I can go right there and freshen up my water, add a little ice and a little more water because I was trying to, drink through to help flush things out. And I drank so much water the other day until it made me sick. So I am, like I said, trying to decide what I'm gonna do. Well, I guess maybe I have to remember. I probably don't get to decide what I'm gonna do. I'm probably just gonna have to retire and go out on disability. I'm saying that like I can do both. Maybe they're one and the same but different. So I don't know what else to tell you or questions that you may have. Like I said, I didn't have any shortness of breath, but I do know what that feels like because I had it the first time I had a clot. It is painful. You cannot take a lower tab because I tried that the first time. I had the blood clot years ago. A lower tab will make the pain go away for about 30 minutes and then you're in pain again. So if lower tab doesn't make you feel good, then you know something's wrong. How would you know? They have the signs. They said it feel warm. This time it didn't feel warm to the touch. I'm dark skinned, so if there's discoloration, we may or may not see it. But the swelling was there. One leg was noticeably bigger than the other. And like I said, this time the way it felt was different than the other time. Um, how long had I had it? I don't know. I don't know. Because like I said, I was feeling fine and then I wasn't. And when I had it the first time, I probably was going months before it started hurting in my leg. But that's what made me go to the emergency room. And when I went to the emergency room, the doctor called because I thought I was still pregnant, but I was miscarrying. The doctors described all, after I looked it up, but the doctors described all the symptoms of a blood clot in the emergency room, the doctor. But he did not know what a blood clot was. And he sent me back home. And I heard him telling my obstetrician that one leg is swollen, is some of the symptoms, and the doctor, he didn't know. He was just like, give us some pain meds, and something they didn't diagnose me correctly, and I was sent home. So this was the first one now. So then when I had it, so then I went home, but didn't feel good about it, and I probably should have fought for myself to stay. But by that, and I went on a Friday. So by that Monday, my husband was working that weekend. So by that Monday morning when he was coming home, I said, when you make it home, I'm going to be right here. We got to go to the doctor. Something's not right because I am in horrible pain. And I was sitting on the steps upstairs. And so when he made it home, we went to the obstetrician. My doctor was busy, so she couldn't get me. So I had to go to another doctor who ended up being the head doctor of that department. Thank God. He asked me, were you in pain? I was so numb, I didn't feel pain anymore. But I said, yes. What number? 10. I was in pain. So I'm just saying, I couldn't even feel it. I was numb. And so he did all the checks and he determined I was a blood clot and couldn't walk out of bed. And can I tell y'all a weird thing? Years prior, I had a dream. I was at home, asleep, of course. I had a dream. And I saw myself in a wheelchair. The Lord told me that you're going to have difficulty having children, you and your husband, and some other things. But anyway, I saw myself in a wheelchair. And when that day came, it was like deja vu. Yeah. And I did have problems having children, but after that, they determined that that's what I'm going to need for my blood to move. I need that. And some people say, oh, you just need exercise. I was the queen of it, y'all. I'm a soldier. I'm a veteran. I'm a disabled veteran, but I'm a soldier. So if somebody was doing some exercise, I was doing it. And it doesn't have anything to do with exercise. Y'all know Serena Williams, she had one, but they're going to say it's because she was pregnant. Wemby, the tallest basketball player out there now, that young guy from France, he had one. Bosch retired with it, but something they've done differently. Now Wemby, he's able to go back to work. And Serena, she is too. But this now is my second one, so, hey, I got to put it down. So now I guess I'll be doing arts and crafts. Maybe I can get these videos right so I can YouTube it. But I know I'm going to be okay. I know I'm going to be fine. I have a brother, he's in the military too. He's a disabled vet. Got the same thing. He just got diagnosed earlier this year. Still moving around, and then ended up having one in his neck. Now thank you, Lord Jesus, for blessing us, because he didn't die. He didn't even go in the hospital. He hasn't even gone to the hospital yet. And he wants to take that trip to Thailand. I'm trying to tell him, no, but he don't want to listen because he's my big brother. And little sisters can't tell big brothers what to do, even when you turn 56 and he's 61, because he think he's still bigger. But y'all, family dynamics. But I'm feeling good for the most part. I'm encouraged, so you don't have to feel like I'm depressed or anything. I'm not. I knew it was going to happen at some point. You never know when. And so, but still pray for me, for you all that want to pray and send well wishes and prayers of goodness. Do send them. I've prayed for myself, so I know I'll be fine. I'm trying to see in my eyes even, and things like that you need to check, y'all. If you have a blood clot, you're going to go to the doctor. You're going to go. Because it's going to hurt so bad. It's not like a toothache. It's not always like a sharp pain, but it's a pain that will get your attention. Can I say it like that? It's a pain that will get your attention. If you have questions, just put them in the comments if you happen to see this video. If you never see it, bye.